All right. We're going to start the yoga practice today with an unusual type of breath work to really open up the sides of the ribs and the neck. And we're going to work with a small black ball. You do not have to have it if you don't, but this is also to spread the sit bones and provide a base. Most of us, as we age, the pelvis and the bones get very brittle and tight and they shrink down. So what you are going to do is place the ball between the sit bones and really take a moment. If you notice, I'm kind of on one side and I'm using the ball to wedge my right sit bone to the side, and then I'm shifting over and I'm wedging my left sit bone to the side. If you've not done this before, this can be rather tender because those bones and all the muscles of the pelvic floor have become tight and brittle. And then bring your feet up into a cross-legged position. Make sure that you're sitting right between the sit bones. You do not want that ball somehow on your tailbone. That's not where we're going. Please do adjust the muscle and the flesh to create space in this area, and then start by sitting up nice and tall. This should provide a real good base and a sensation of everything widening out if you can access it. I'm taking this as my left arm. I'm sorry, you're going to turn it this way. So I'm internally rotating the arm and lifting it up. Once it's up, I'm grabbing all of the outside flesh. This is the area of the tricep, as close up to the armpit as I can, and rotating it. So I'm getting even more of an internal rotation. Notice what happens to the armpit. It opens, and then I drop the arm down. So it can be in front or it can be behind. It's easier in front. So it creates a huge opening of the armpit. I can wiggle this hand around even more to lift. Notice what I'm doing. I'm lifting the tissue up and creating an elongation in the part of the back that's usually rounded and collapsed down. Then I'm using my head to press into the arm in order to help get more lift. So we're focusing very strongly in the very high part of the rib cage, right up into the armpit. Now, using this shape, we'll be doing breath of fire, and please imagine the breath of fire going into the armpit, into all those stiff areas, and starting to create space. So keep the lift. Notice how much I'm lifting up, and here we go. Keep the shape. Take a breath in. Inflate the ribs. Lift up this arm that's gripping this arm. Pull it up and slowly bend a little bit to the right to open the left ribs, the left armpit, and even maybe the left tricep. Watch that you don't bend in. Keep leaning back with the head to get a very strong lateral lift. Open the ribs. Stretch the arms and bring your hands down. Just take a moment, let everything settle. A lot of energy, a lot of shifting goes on when you do this work. I have a hair. Bring the other arm up. So notice my palm is facing down. I'm bringing this hand around. Let me turn just a little bit to help. Now I'm grabbing the outside and I'm pulling it back. So it's a huge opening, internal rotation to get all of this tissue starting to get opened up. And then I let the hand drop behind or in front, wherever works for you. Again, lift up, check. The nice thing when you have the balls, you can really check if your sit bones are even or if you're starting to do funny things. They kind of being encouraged to stay nice and balanced. Lean into your arm, and here we go again with breath of fire. Keep the head leaning back. Inhale. Pull up, lift up, and slowly lean. I'm not looking to go very far to the left. I'm actually pressing my ribs to the right to create more traction and opening into the sole, side ribs, between each rib, the serratus anterior, all the attachments into the armpit. Keep externally rotating. Keep this, pulling this section up. It's going to change everything about your physiology. And then come down again. Whoo! Lots of changes starting to come in. So just making sure I'm still nicely on my sit bones. Very good. Now, nice tall spine. Keep these shoulders really dropped and bring I'm taking my left hand to my right knee. Stay with both sit bones on either side of the ball. Lift up and watch your shoulders don't come up. Keep the sternum lifted and very slowly spiral around. If you can, you go a little bit further. Now, this arm, the arm in front, the shoulder blade pulls away from the spine and around. The hand that's behind that shoulder blade goes into the rib cage towards the spine. So two opposite movements. Come back. Nice lift. Shoulders down. Get a sense of your elongation. The other hand comes across. Notice this shoulder blade is pulled forward, but I'm not rounding. Keep the back lifted. Keep the sit bones on either side of that ball. Lifting up and start spiraling in the opposite direction. So the hand that's in front, the shoulder blade pulls forward, but don't round. Keep the rib cage lifting. And the back shoulder blade pulls back. Keep rotating. And then come back to the center. Now, my right foot's in front. Take a note of that. We're coming off for a minute, but we're coming right back on. So lengthen the legs out just to even them. Okay, so they started to feel tender. A lot is going on when we do this work. Just for a moment, when you lift, before we go back, so when we sit, the sacrum tends to go backwards. Please get 1 or 2 or 3 sets of blankets and sit right at the front on top of the blankets. And now get a strap. So what we can do when we're up higher, it allows a little bit more of this sacrum to go into the body. So if you put your hands down here for a minute, first pull the flesh of the buttocks back and out. Then feel for your own bony sacrum shape. Lift it and press it in. So that's your first most important move. That separates the pelvis from the hips and allows whatever needs to elongate in the legs. They usually get gripped in. We want them loosening up. Then take a strap around the feet. Now the feet, once you have, this is primary point number 1. This is your priority, so don't do other movements if you lose it. If you can next press the thigh bones down, and then you're pulling the shoulder blades down and lifting up. So thigh bones down, sacrum in, spine up, and just hold the position. Keep your chest open and the collarbones wide. So where this is Dandasana, we're just creating energy in a very simple shape. strengthening the anatomy and strengthening the skeleton to hold the angles and geometric shapes that the human body is capable, and when it can access them, it's healthy in those areas. So hold it, let go, bring the hands in front of you, check that sacrum, make sure it's coming into the body and lifting up, and then bring the arms up. So start feeling the shoulder blades go down the back, and then get the hands right by the sides of the body, by the sides of the ears, what am I saying? And lengthen up even more. Keep lifting up, press the thigh bones down. Rotate the palms to face each other so you're not here, your opposite movement to what you just worked on. Keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting, and bring the hands down. We are going to now do the same work we did before, but we have the opposite leg crossed in front. I hope you remember. Mine was the right foot was in front. So get this ball, separate your sit bones, get your hands in there and pull all that flesh apart. It's your own body, only you will do this. And this is incredible to keep the whole pelvic floor area really healthy and stable. So now bring one foot in, and if you can, the other foot in. Notice how kind of cradled my ankles are, so they're quite close. So this allows the thighs to stretch out. Make sure you're really sitting down. Palm is to the floor, arm is up, the other hand grabs, and grabbing now right by the deltoid. Can you get right in there and rotate? Really pull this area up. It probably can go a little bit further and bend. I'm going to go, whoa, behind. Lift your head and chest up. No, I'm coming in front. That was a funny feeling I had. Keep pulling up the rib cage. Stretch it. Get V collapse for all of us. Feel those sit bones going down. Let the thighs relax down if you can. And I'm going to put a little bolster or a little padding under this knee because it doesn't get to the floor, so it's more relaxed when it's like that. And start the breath of fire. And bring the hands down. What am I saying? Bring the hand back up. Get back into the position. Lift up and bend over, opening the side ribs. Very important part. We don't want to miss it. Open up those side ribs. Lift up through the sternum. Keep the waist long. You can move this hand up and get a little bit more traction. And now you can come out. And just sit here for a minute. I'm just getting the right balance. Feel the lift. You will start to feel a huge opening across the high part of the chest. Such an important part for vibrancy and youthfulness. Other side, arm up, bent behind. Actually, beforehand, you grab, rotate, pull that tissue around right by the deltoid. Then bend the arm. Keep that nice lift. Pull the rib cage up, and here we go. Inhale and open that side. Keep stretching and elongating. And then come back. Let yourself settle. Find that place in the middle. So when we're doing the stretching, we're ballooning the rib cage. We're stretching and expanding the upper part. But when you come out of it in daily life, we float in a soft middle place. We're not in the extremes. And so this is a real important part. Where's my center? Where's my place where I'm really relaxed, but I'm open and vibrant? And again, we do the twist. One hand across, check that you're on your two sit bones, and start to spiral around. The hands that's in front, let the shoulder come forward, but not at the expense of the rib cage. Also turn your head around. Keep lifting up. Lifting up is more important than rotation. Come back. Keep lifting up. Other hand across, across. Lift the rib cage and start spiraling. And back. And again, stretch your legs out. You can come off the ball. Bounce your knees up and down. And our next one is a different sort of a stretch. It's actually to open up, Baddha variation. If you have a foam roller or a bolster, yoga bolster, or a pile of pillows, you don't want it too high or too harsh. If you have a foam roller, please use some blankets or padding on it. But it's the prior setup that we want to really focus on. So you're going to be sitting in front. Take a yoga strap and bend your feet up and take the strap around the sacrum. Bring your feet as close in as you're comfortable and then loop it in. So this strap, once you pull it taut, will give you some really nice support, and you want to get it really down there. So it's giving you a very nice support into your low back, which can tend to fall backwards. Right now my hips are tight, so it does. So this holds me in, which is what you're striving for. Some of you, your knees will go to the floor, and then lay yourselves back on the bolster. So this gives a very nice, should be giving a nice support to your back and allow a relaxation that will let your hips start to open out to the side. I'm sure some of you are falling to the floor, and enjoy it. It's a beautiful open position. In this place, check that both hips are the same, even if your knees are different. You want to always be working towards geometry and into finding out where in my body am I imbalanced? What can I do about restoring balance there? So allow yourselves to settle, let the chest open, feel your stomach start to soften. Just take your time and allow everything to relax. My left hip leg is a little tight, so I always pad it so it relaxes. There's a sweet spot you want to find in your own body where you give yourself enough support that you can actually gain all the benefits of the pose without asking your body to do more than it's ready to. So get yourself comfortable. We're going to stay in here for another minute or so, allowing all the energy to open. Allow the breath to just smooth its way out. And then bring yourselves back up Undo the strap. And one more time. This time you want your knees bent, lay back. So much easier position. Now we're different position. Lengthen the legs. So the legs are nice and long. There should be a nice sense of support. If you're on a foam roller, please pad it so you're comfortable. This is almost a restorative position. Lengthen the arms over your head. So again, you're getting this nice opening, but now everything's supported, so there's no muscular tension, quite the reverse. You want to see if you can soften the texture of the muscles and let them ease. Bring your hands up, have a look at the cross and shift the cross. Take your arms back again. Again, our armpits and where the bone is in the socket can be very different one side to the other. So we always want to search out where we have lack of symmetry, where we have extreme differentiation, and we want to carefully enter that area. So we keep optimizing and rebalancing and correcting energy flows that have got torqued a bit. And then bring yourselves back up to an upright position. And bring yourselves up. Let's get onto our little blankets again. So again, you want your bottom elevated so you can work on that angle and differentiate the pelvis from the legs. So when there's that elevation, if you're still collapsed down, use more blankets. It's well worth it. Your body will respond more swiftly when you give it the correct language. Fighting for correct alignment at a level that you're not ready for doesn't make you get there faster. So sacrum in, spine up, thighs down, sternum bone lifted, shoulder blades gliding down, head on top of the shoulders. And a new thing, look at your big toe and little toe, and you want them even, as though you're pushing them into a wall, and very slightly lengthening them. Press into the strap away from you. Press and lengthen your knees down and thighs down, and lift. So they're almost flexed, but not at the maximum capacity. From here, start to hinge forward, but you want this hinge coming from the sacrum. So if you're bending that way, you're missing the goal. So whatever range you want that sacrum to lift. So just find that diagonal, keep the chest open and lengthen up. Again, get that waist as lifted as you can. Keeping the legs active. This is a very active work, even though it is nice and slow. Come back. And from here, still lifted up, take your right leg and pull it as high up. I hope you didn't move your buttock. You want it right up so the foot is close to the inside of this thigh. Get the strap. Lift your sacrum up, lengthen out. Now you slightly rotate to the left if your left leg is straight, so that you're facing this one leg. You have to shift a bit over. Please keep this down. This has to stay down, and then again lengthen forward. So how low down you go is pendant to the sacrum and where you're bending from. It's fine. A lot of people can go long and flat. In my youth, I used to do that. Now I'm at a 3-inch hinge. But this is where the good part is. So always be honest. Don't judge yourself or compare yourself to your past or to anybody else. Work with the body you have. The wisdom of this work is an eternal wisdom that applies to all ages. Come back. Legs out. Bend the other leg up. Get it as high up close to your groin as is workable for you. I'm giving myself a little padding under my knee. Make sure you're sitting on both sit bones. And again. Lifting, sacrum in, and hinge a bit. I'm sure many of you can go quite a bit forward. Just remember the energy is upwards, not down. So it's almost like an energetic of the meridian or energy systems of the body that you're kind of activating with the work. And then come and extend the leg out. Now we'll do something a little bit different. You will take this, and notice I'm putting them on a diagonal. So my left hip is up on it. Again, I'm like sitting with my legs straight, but only my left buttock is lifted. And now I'm taking my right knee and I'm pulling it way out. So it's wider. In fact, the idea is that the heel now comes into the right leg, not the left leg. And what I'm doing with my hands first is I notice I've lifted up, so I've shifted over onto the left leg. Get the strap. Get your sacrum in and hinge forward. So this will give you a very different rotation into the hip. And this buttock is actually lifting off the floor in order to open up in a new area. So over you go, nice and long. And then come back. Shift the blanket around. Your right buttock is up. The leg is straight, so I'm falling down on the left. Then the left foot way up, and now my weight is on my right side. Again, get that strap. Hike up, so notice I'm lifting my sacrum up and then hinging forward from there. Come back up and extend the legs out. And from here, with the legs straight, let's take the right leg and bring it up. So in this position, this is to loosen up this hip altogether. For some of you, you will be in this position. People who are very loose, you could get it to this position. You're striving to get your shin bone straight. Now your back is a little bit falling down here. So you just find, some people can't get the shin up. You do the best you can. You want the leg held. And now rock the baby. Just rock it. Let yourself loosen up all around that hip and pelvis and sacrum and tailbone. Just nice and loose. Moving this area, it gets, as I said, very tight, very rigidified, very calcified for all of us. And we want to open up that energy center. Keep going just a little bit longer, and then stretch the leg out. And other side. Bend. Holding the foot or grabbing it the way I had on the other side. This side is stiffer, and rocking again. So ideally, you're rocking the leg. I'm going to stop this. You're doing this, not this. So you do the best you can. You're searching for the leg moving, not the body moving. And notice the harmonic in your pelvis, because there is a very, the leg is a big movement, and then smaller, 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 spiraling into the area of the sacrum and the tailbone and all around there, an area that we often don't use very much. And stretch your leg out again. From here, bend the first foot. We're going into a beginning of a half lotus. Get the leg straight. Grab and pull your calf up. See how much I'm rotating my calf around in order to rotate all of this tissue around and open, and bring the foot as close up to your groin as you can, and let the knee move downwards. If your knee is very high, if you can't get up, the leg can be here, wherever it works for you. If you have a lot of pinching in the knee, come out of it, then you need some more specific individualized guidance so that you don't rip inappropriately. We want to stretch the attachments, but we're not looking to tear anything. So knees complicated. It's worth working. We want healthy knees, but if you have sharp pain under there, please jump and wait out this version. Then come on up, bring your, oh, this is starting to release now. Bring your sacrum in, and if you want to bend forward, bend forward. More relaxation in my leg. Sometimes it's so interesting. You can be tight, 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 tight. The body lets go. That's why being sensitive, not pushing through, but letting your body unwind is so valuable. Let's come out. Lengthen the legs. Other leg. So remember, I'm pulling all of my calf muscle really up high around. Grabbing my ankle, keeping the calf pulled up, and slowly bringing the heel up towards the groin. Getting the other strap on and lifting up. Getting the sacrum in, and then slowly bending forward if you want to do that. There goes my knee. Starting to relax. Come on out of here. So we did external rotation. Now you will take your blankets again, and ideally, you know, there's a smooth part to the blanket, and then of course I have all my you want as much of a smooth area and no wrinkles. No wrinkles. Again, a diagonal. So I have my left buttock lifted, and now you take your opposite leg, this is my right leg, and I'm doing the reverse with the knee. I'm pulling it outwards and coming to this position. So These blankets, you need to lift your buttock up as high as needed so your hip bones feel even. In my case, this is not high enough, so I am adding a layer. Getting my buttock on and now coming in, and I expect this will be the, yes. Now I can feel this side dropping, these two bones are even, the thighs are even, everything is even. That's what you're striving for. So take your time setting up the poses right. It's a world of difference. It's just a world of difference. The health benefits are profound when you use the props the right way. So here we go. Sacrum in, strap, lift. For those of you who want to bend forward, bend forward. Keep that sensation that this hip is dropping down towards the floor and this side is lifting so that you're really centered. Normally people fall to one side. Don't fall to one side. Be vertical and upright. Bring yourselves out, and we'll do the same on the other side. So blankets on this diagonal. I am propping my right buttock up. My left buttock is floating in the air, so it's falling down. Pulling the quad, not the quad, I apologize, pulling the knee out. I'm actually pulling my quad down and the calf out so that I can be right in the middle here. Sitting down, I actually need a little more height on this side. So get yourself set up. I'm going to need to readjust. So now I'm up higher on this side because it's a tighter side for me. There we go. There we go. That feels much better. Now I can get even, I can get on the joints. That's what you want. The joints begin to open in a healthy way. If you want to come forward as best you can. Keep that sacrum lifting up. Letting the hip go down. And then come on out. Very, very nice. So now we will actually come to an upright position. So we're doing this reverse to how we normally do a practice. We will do a few standing poses now. So starting up in a standing position. Let's see if I can get myself in camera. Yes. So starting with your feet together, just nice mountain pose. So you want both feet down, big toes touching. Please, just a micro inch of the heel apart and lift all 5 toes up. Pull your kneecaps up and tighten your quads. Now the feeling here, it will be that you're pressing your thighs backwards. You really want to press them back and open up the back of the knees. And then, actually, let's see, so here we are. Thighs back, now this part down. So you're lifting up the front, but you're not swinging forward. That's the tricky part. So we're constantly working our anatomy. Thighs back, sacrum down, and then compact hips. You take the hips, feel as though you're pushing your femur bones in towards the sockets. You're actually creating a pressure there to make them very firm, and you're gently lifting up. So there's this lengthening and flattening out here in motion, but you're still on your heels. From here, lift up in the ribs. Shoulders down, arms long, sternum lifted, head lifted. And just hold this position. If your toes are still up, put them down, but keep the weight into the outer foot. So you want to feel the outer foot grounding, the center of the heel grounding, your big toe joint grounding. And keep lengthening the whole skeleton up and creating space everywhere. Nice long body, open shoulders, long arms, extended fingers. Rotate the arms out. Stay nice and lifted. Bring the arms halfway up. Shoulders down. Strong arms, stretched elbows. Pull the arms apart. Keep the shoulders down. Keep the quads pulling up. The thighs are back. The hips are compact. Bring the arms right above your shoulders so the palms are not touching. And then lengthen and lift the ribs. So very long arms, extending, tighten the upper arm. They need to be nice and firm. Lengthen a little more. And bring the arms down. Standing Shavasana. Just relax the tension. Relax. I'm just going to raise the camera a little bit here. From here, again, feet are together. Quads back, lifted up thighs, firmed hips, stretch the arms right in front of the chest, and check that the shoulders are down the back and the elbows are long. So you're pushing your hands away from you, but you're keeping your chest lifted, and then take the arms up. Firm the upper arms. Now we are internally rotating them, just like the position the arms were in when we started the class with the breath work. How much can you get your armpits to open and lengthen now and keep the ribs lifting? Press your arms to the ceiling. Feel the stretch and the openness. We worked a lot on this. Bring the hands down and flip your clasp. Stretch your arms forward again. And bring the arms up. Lock the elbows. Again, open up those armpits. Lengthen up. Check that the upper back is lifting. The waist is lifting. The thighs are lifting. Everything is nice and long. Elongate even more through the upper back. Bring the hands back down. Standing Shavasana. Clasp the hands behind your back. In this position, press the elbows as close together as you can. So they may or may not. Notice I'm not doing that. I'm just in my nice lifted position, and the elbows, this should make the triceps start to work a lot. You're opening across the collarbones and slowly take those arms down and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep your head lifted, and if you can take your arms back without your chest changing shape. Pretty hard to do because the chest will want to collapse inward. It doesn't matter how far back the arms go. We're attempting to get right under the collarbones. We want that tissue to open and expand. It takes a lot of concentration to get in there and not go into your low back and arch and have a fake position. Keep this. And then bring the hands down, standing Shavasana. Uttanasana, so forward bend. You want to be bending from the hips. So let's come into a flat back. See if you can keep your sacrum pressing in. So I don't care where you come to. Find that place as sacrum's coming in and then bend down towards the floor. And let's see if you can be on your fingertips or even up a little higher if you want to, so that you sustain this placement. So notice that's rolling up. We want this nice up energy in the spine. It changes the pelvis. We want to energize up through the crown of the head. Hold that position and then see if you can go lower without rounding. If you're just rounding in, different position. Let's not do that today. We want this nice length. Bring yourselves back up to an upright position and standing Shavasana. Now, nose is facing forward. You should have a nice wide sense of your collarbones. Turn your face to the right. Keep your shoulders wide. Just take a moment, find the edge of your movement, and gradually increase the edge. Come back to the center. Broad collarbones. Turn your nose to the left. Find the edge. Sometimes it's quite soon. The neck has so many complicated aberrations and mutations. We each have to navigate our own neck, especially in the modern world where we're mostly sitting and looking forward and down or at a computer screen. So unnatural. Take it a little bit further. And then back. Right ear to right shoulder. Notice that this doesn't hike up. Keep this shoulder down. Take your right hand. Make sure your face is still facing forward and stretch the ear further. This hand, make it a flex. Pull it down. So there should be a lovely, lovely stretch that you're feeling on the side of your neck. If your face is going down or up, you're in a different area. We're going to visit that in a minute. Now turn your nose toward your shoulder. And again, give your head a stretch. Keep pulling this down. Float your head up. Left ear to left shoulder. Left hand to the head. Gently stretch the ear towards the shoulder. Take the right hand and stretch the shoulder down. Slowly turn your nose downwards towards, it's like you're looking to look at your armpit, and stretch there. Float your head back up and roll the shoulders around. So we have done a lot of work to loosen the shoulders, open the shoulders. We're going to do a little bit just to strengthen the muscles there. I want you to do something called a golfer's grip, where the knuckles are straight, just the tips of the fingers are curled. First of all, bring them right to your temples and stand up straight. So when you stand up straight, your shoulders are over your hips, your head is over your shoulders. For some of you, this will, and your weight is more towards the heels. This will almost feel like you're falling backwards. Bring the elbows together or towards each other. I don't care if they touch or not. And then press as far away as you can. Bring your elbows towards each other. Press them away. So just keep going with this movement. We're just exercising the shoulders, glide of the shoulder blades around the spine and activating the pecs and the rhomboids, the muscles in the front high chest and the muscles between the shoulder blades. We're also asking the deltoids, or the top bulging muscle at the top of the arm, to work. Very good for our chest, very good for undoing computer lifestyle. Just a few more like this. I know this is very fatiguing. Attempt to get both arms even. Almost impossible to do that. We don't have our right and left side symmetrical, but do your best. Have that as a direction towards what you're working towards. And relax. From here, same position, and now my thumb is out. You turn your hands all the way out. I'm more interested in the armpit and the shoulders than anything else to keep the collarbone straight. Pull the shoulder blades down your back and squeeze them together. Stretch your elbows and float the hands up. Please go slowly. If you've come up and your shoulders hike, you're going too far. It's fun to do this in front of a mirror because you can catch that one arm can be very different. If one arm's like this, you stop where you can keep both shoulders even. Ultimately, you want the hands in line with the shoulders. Pinch your shoulder blades, pull them down, stretch your elbows, and start circling the arms backwards. Keep circling while you keep the shoulder blades gliding down your back, moving towards each other. The elbows are straight, the head is up. It's going to want to come forward. Keep circling the arms like this. Keep the arms straight. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Pull the shoulder blades down. I know I'm keep saying the same thing over and over. It's because your body gets tired and stops doing it. So squeeze your shoulder blades together. Pull the shoulder blades down. Stretch your elbows, keep circling. We want to fatigue these muscles. We want to make them stronger. The fatigue will improve them. It'll help you be vertical. Just keep on going a little bit longer and relax. That usually is a surprisingly hard exercise to do. We have one more set with the reverse circle. So thumbs facing forward. Now my palms are facing in. Check that the shoulder blades are pulled a little bit towards each other and down your back. Lock and lengthen your elbows and lift them up. The palms are facing the floor now. Shoulders are down, shoulder blades together, elbows are locked. Circle forward. Start this circle. Check that your head is on top of your shoulders. Don't let it fall forward. This may hurt in your neck. That's good. We need those muscles getting stronger. Keep those shoulders going down away from your ears. They want to pop up and get short. Don't let them do that. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Press the shoulders down. Straighten your elbows. Keep the arms going to the side. Stand up straight. Lift the head up. Keep on going. I know it's fatiguing. Little bit longer. And relax. Good work. We're coming back down to the floor for cat-cow. So here we are. So you want to be on your hands and knees. And now make sure the hands under the shoulders, knees are under the hips for this first part. And just start lifting your head up, pushing away from the floor, but attempting to get as much work in your upper back as you can, and then rounding and getting into the lower back. And up, and down, so just back and forth. Loosening things up. We've done a lot of very detailed basic work. So you want to just let that energy start to flow. Now, move your knees further backwards or your hands further forward. It doesn't really matter. So now we're no longer in a box shape. Curl the toes under. We're going to be going into our down dog, but take your time building your shape. So find your neutral spine, press away from the floor, and start really feeling that you're pushing away from the floor with your hands. Lift your knees and press back so that from your hands to your hips, you're attempting to get a straight line. Get that sacrum in and lengthen from the arms. So you get as much length in the trunk, as much length in the waist, and only then start pushing your thighs backwards. Can you get this sense of the thighs going back to open up the backs of the legs? I'm not interested in the legs going straight. I'm interested in opening up tight tissue. That's what you're looking for. Keep nice and long. Press away from the hands. Hands should be very strong. You want to create a lot of length here. And then bend the knees back. Open the knees a bit, bring your big toes together and go into a child's pose. Come back and please watch just for a minute, because we're going to go from down dog into a plank, but there's a few things that I'd like you to focus on. So here you are, just have a quick look. You're lifting, you're getting the length, and you're lengthening out. Now, once you're in this position, you work the length out. When you come forward, notice that I'm coming beyond my wrists, and then you build the same position you had in mountain pose. Firm hips, thighs back, long back, shoulders down your back, and you get this nice length and support. You'll come back into your down dog, and then you come down. So let's do this together. Press into the floor with your hands. Lift your knees and get into your beginning setup for down dog. Work the arms and make them active, and then work through the trunk. Then slowly lengthen the legs, creating a lot of firmness. As you start to come forward, start to look at firming the hips. Keep them pressing into the sockets so that you can create trunk stability. Very important. The legs are long, the thighs are back, the head is lifted. Your stomach should be working very hard naturally. Hold that position. Press back and bend your knees down. So take a moment and we'll do this again. So we're just building good foundational strength in the body today. This starts to build up the upper body and the core stability. So again, lift the knees, press back, work into your down dog. Take your time creating your foundation. Every time you'll be able to do it even better. From here, coming forward into your plank. Are the thighs lifted? Are your hips firm? Is your stomach and low back lifted? Is your body weight being held by both your legs, your abdomen, and your chest and arms? Hold that. Press back. And bend the knees down. Now we were going to go into a side plank, and I would like you to watch the setup because it's a very, it's worth doing it the right way. So you're going to go back, going to come forward. Now I'm moving my right hand to the middle. My left hand is coming out. I've got like spider fingers. I move my right foot to the left foot and I rotate it, and then I get myself in position here, and then I bring myself up to here. And I press away from the floor. The hips tend to sag. You want them lifted. Then you have your arm up. Coming out is the same. So please go slow. We'll walk through this together. I want you to build it the right way. These are good techniques to have. So a little bit wider than a box. Lift and push back into your down dog. Lengthen out from your hands. Set up your foundation. Keep the arms strong as you shift over your knuckles and your nails. Keep the hips firm. Right hand to the middle. Left hand off your mat. Rotate the right foot out and come onto both feet. Lift up. Get you on your side. Make the hips firm. Bring them forward. Stretch your arm up. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. The hand comes down. Adjust back into your down dog. And then come back. Just for a minute, sit back. Take a rest. We want the body to settle. Say hello to your cat. Come forward on your hands and knees. And now other side, lift your knees and push back into your down dog. The last thing to lengthen are the legs. Come forward into your plank. Move your left hand to the middle, right hand off the mat. Go onto your left leg, keep the hips lifted, and slowly stretch your arm up. Keep yourself on your side. The hips should be pressing forward, the thighs should be pressing back. Hold the position. Hand comes back. Go back into your down dog. Twilight, you're not helping anything. Bend the knees and come back to a sitting position. You're being so helpful. I want to make sure my hips stay up. Next one, just to get a complete reversal, is getting a little bit more. We've worked actually in these planks into our core without just challenging the shape. So now you're up. Roll a little bit back. So we're back of the sit bone in the tailbone. So now the sacrum is rounded a bit. And we're holding the weight here. But we want as much lift as we can anyway. Lift your feet up. Hold this position and lift the feet a bit more. And now stretch your arms out. Hold it. Keep the chest lifting. Lift the legs more. Hold it. And if you want to stretch all the way, lengthen even further. And then bring the legs down and roll back onto your back. Twilight. In this position, press the shoulders down. You want your whole back long, and you want to be aware that the sacrum is kind of grounding down. So the very top of the pelvis, where your waist meets the pelvis, you're anchoring that area. That's the area that gets stability for the low back. Whether your low back is on the floor or not is less important than this position. And then bring your right knee in and just extend it in. So you will just allow the back to lengthen and the hip to hinge a bit. Take the left leg and stretch it out. Probably all of you can get it flat to the floor. But keep that sense of your back being very long and grounded. And then you'll change legs. So because you have the knees bent, it's a real nice, simple place to find all these basics. So important, especially as we get older, because the body can form funny little habits we want to keep cleaning up in our practice. So you pull the thigh in, feel the back long, feel that place where the spine and the top of the pelvis meet, and you want to be lengthening that in the direction of the floor. That creates a natural engagement of the trunk. Take your other leg and lengthen it out. Bring the leg back and bring both knees in. You want to keep the sacrum on the mat. So how far in the legs go is your call. And now we'll do something else. Lift up towards the legs and lower back down. So now we're actually looking to also engage the abs. So if you have your hands behind your head, bring the elbows forward so there may be a little in front of the plane of your face. That's the cradle you want. And you will use your trunk to lift up. So you're not pulling with your hands, you're making the trunk work. Lower back, make the trunk work. Lower back, make your trunk work. Lower back, make the trunk work. Lower back, one more time like this, make the trunk work. And lower back. Now, your elbows are still a bit forward. You will work into the obliques. So you're going to lift and take the left elbow towards the right knee. So you twist in that direction, come back down. Lift, right elbow towards left knee, and back. First side, and back. Other side, and back. First side, and back. Other side, and back. One more time. First side, and back. And other side, and back. And now lengthen the legs out. Keep the spine long. And let the palms face up and close your eyes for your Shavasana. Enjoy the relaxation. Let everything release. Allow the body to settle. Take a moment and scan through and just notice where you're tight, where you're loose, what's letting go, what's not. Just be aware. You're not looking to change anything. You're just allowing the process to happen, but you're witnessing it. And now slowly move your fingers and your toes. Bend the knees and in your own time roll to one side. Take a moment to relax there. And bring yourselves up to a seated position the way we started, but not on the ball, just cross-legged. And take a moment to check in on what you feel, how your body is, what the space is, and the emptiness I hope you feel you can access right now. And to finish, let's bring our hands into prayer pose at the heart center and give thanks for the wisdom and teachings of yoga. And give thanks and honor the inner teacher inside of each of us that's always there for guidance and direction when we look inwards and we listen to the truth in our own hearts. And let's ask for inspiration, for guidance, for trust, for wisdom, and for purity of thought, to accept all things as they are, to have no judgment, and to enjoy the miracle of life that we are part of as it unfolds around us. Take a big breath in. Bring your hands up to your forehead or third eye, down to your lips for a kiss. Bring your hands back down to your heart and bow your head to your heart. May the mind always be the servant of the heart. Then lift your head and open your eyes and namaste.